Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, Military Cache. On April 25, 2003, the crew of Chinese fishing boat noticed a strange sight: a periscope drifting listlessly above the surface of the water. The fishermen notified the People's Liberation Army Navy, which promptly dispatched 2 vessels to investigate. At first, the People's Liberation Army Navy believed the contact to be an intruding submarine from South Korea or Japan. But when Chinese personnel finally recovered the apparent derelict, they realized it was one of their own diesel-electric submarines, the Ming-class 361. When they boarded on April 26, they found all 70 personnel slumped dead at their stations. Military Commissioner and former President Jiang Zemin acknowledged the tragic incident on May 2, 2003, in a statement honoring the sacrifice of Chinese sailors' lives and vaguely characterizing the cause as mechanical failure. A month later, an inquiry by his commission resulted in the dismissal of both the commander and commissar of the North Sea Fleet, and the demotion or dismissal of 6 or 8 more officers for improper command and control. Jiang and President Hu Jintao later reportedly visited the recovered submarine and met with the families of the deceased. The Chinese government is not disposed to transparency regarding its military accidents. For example, it does not release the results of its investigations into jet fighter crashes, and it never publicly acknowledged earlier submarine accidents. At the time, some commentators expressed surprise that Beijing acknowledged the incident at all, and speculated it was obliquely related to contemporaneous criticism of Beijing's attempts to downplay the SARS epidemic. The Type 035 Ming-class submarine was an outdated second-generation design evolved from the lineage of the Soviet Romeo class. The first 2 Type 035 were built in 1975, but remained easy to detect compared to contemporary American or Russian designs. Though China operated numerous diesel submarines, due to concerns over seaworthiness, they rarely ventured far beyond coastal waters in that era. The Type 361 Ming-class 035 had been deployed on a naval exercise in the Bohai Sea, the Yellow Sea Gulf east of Beijing and Tianjin. Unusually, a senior naval officer, Commodore Cheng Fuming, was aboard. In its last ship's log on April 16, the submarine was practicing silent running while off the Changshang Island, heading back to a base in Weihai, Shandong Province. Because it was maintaining radio silence, the People's Liberation Army Navy didn't realize anything was amiss until 10 days later. The method by which 361 was recovered after its presence was reported remains unclear. Several accounts imply the ship was submerged, but the fact that it was promptly towed back to port implies that it had surfaced. The lack of clear official explanation has led to various theories over the years. The typical complement of a Type 035 submarine is 55 to 57 personnel, but the submarine had 70 on board. Officially these were trainers, but conditions would have been quite cramped. The presence of the additional personnel and the high-ranking Commodore Cheng leads to the general conclusion that 361 was not on a routine mission. Another theory is that leaks allowed seawater to mix with battery acid, forming deadly chlorine gas that poisoned the crew. The submarine had embarked on a dangerous anti-submarine training, and that human error led it to nose down uncontrollably, causing it to get stuck on the seafloor. However, the most widely accepted explanation today was first published by the Hong Kong Wenwei Po, a pro-Beijing newspaper. The crew was suffocated by the sub's diesel engine. Ming-class 361 was running its diesel while snorkeling when high water caused the air intake valve to close, or the valve failed to open properly due to a malfunction. However, its diesel engine did not shut down as it should have in response. Apparently, the motor consumed most of the submarine's air supply in just 2 minutes. The crew might have felt lightheaded and short of breath during the first minute, and would have begun losing consciousness in the second. The negative air pressure also made it impossible to open the hatches. This theory, as well as mentioning the possibility that exhaust was improperly vented back into the hull to fatal effect. Any of these explanations would reflect serious failings in both crew training and mechanical performance. If you have feedback, please comment below. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe.